Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to the Audio Analyst. Today, I bring you the conclusion of my mid-January walkthrough tour of the 25,000 square foot manufacturing facility of Audio Group Denmark in Aalborg, Denmark. Now, in today's installment, besides getting to see their primary listening and demo room, getting detail on how driver cones are fabricated, and seeing the cryogenic tanks, we get to see one of the more novel and fun highlights of the facility: the delightfully appointed and well-stocked Irish pub just off that listening room. I hope that you've enjoyed this all-access behind-the-scenes glimpse into AGD, who brings us Anzus, Avic, and Borison Acoustics products, and provides some idea just how committed to excellence this Danish manufacturer is. Now, after we take a look at what our guide, AGD founder and CEO, Lars Christensen, has to share with us today, I'll offer a recap of the many diverse and synergistic tactics they employ to combat induction and its associated noise and distortions throughout their remarkable product lineup. Here's Lars once again.
So, we as I told before, any speaker we make, before it's shipped out, we have a listening test in this room to make sure that there's something you can't measure, like if you have some mechanical break-off somewhere.
We had some fun in here yesterday.
Yeah, we had some fun here. Yeah.
Lars, kommer du ikke forbi mig nu?
Ja, det er 2 sekunder.
Ja, for ellers så vil jeg nemlig gå den anden vej.
Ja.
Og det er der ikke.
But we also have a room next to.
Yeah, this was, I hate to say this, but this was one of my favorite rooms. Give us the tour of the Irish pub, buddy. This is awesome.
Yeah, we actually have an Irish pub. And I think for any company, doesn't matter what kind of company you have, it's something unusual to have.
This was so much fun.
So we got to taste 2 different gins last night.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah. So we are gin fanatics in our company. Are we making our own gin?
Well, kinda.
Kinda, yeah. That's right.
Excuse me.
Called the X2.
Yeah.
So we have only, I think it's around 25 different gins. So for gin freaks, it's a paradise to come to see us. But of course we have tap beers.
Sure.
We have IPA, we have champagne, we have white wine, we have red wine, we have any kind of liqueur you want to taste. Yeah.
And the room itself is just so inviting and so nice.
Yeah, it's my wife who made the interior. It takes close to a year to find all the small things you can have a look at when you're here.
So much fun in here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's a very important room in the whole building.
I agree.
So in here we have a part of the R&D.
Yeah.
And this is one of my very best friends. This is Flemming. We have 2 Flemming Rasmussen, by the way, to make the confusion totally. And Flemming, I think you should tell a little bit about how we are building the cones for the M1s, for example.
Ja,
It's a Kevlar honeycomb, and
Yeah, this is Kevlar honeycomb, and this is spread toe carbon fiber. You'll have to excuse me, I'm running a bit of a cold. Spread toe carbon fiber is unlike a normal weave, where you can see the threads are extremely wide, and thus they are extremely flat. That means that the void in between the individual threads are very, very small. So the amount of resin that goes to fill it becomes very small. That means that with this type of carbon fiber compared to the normal carbon fiber, you can have a weight reduction of 30 to 40% for the same strength. So we take these 3 layers, combine them with some epoxy resin, and then we cure them under vacuum, and we end up with a thing that, unlike this fluffy stuff, is extremely rigid
And light.
and light.
So the weight is 5.5 grams.
yeah, the stiffness to weight ratio is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we have approximately half the weight of any other 4.5 inch drivers cones.
Yeah, and a stiffness.
And
far
the stiffness is superior to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the DM drivers, we do more.
Yeah, we do more. Then on top of that, we put a layer of 0.04 millimeter thick titanium, which has been in an accelerator and bombarded with atoms from
Titanium nitrate,
Yeah.
titanium, tungsten, zirconium, and zirconium nitrate. That's what you have in front of you.
Very impressive, gentlemen.
So the final process is that these two will be vacuum glued together and eventually cut off in the right shape and have the surround attached to it.
So, yes, we do the motor system in-house.
Yes, you do.
Yes, we do the cones in-house, or the most exotic speaker we make. Are we crazy using materials like zirconium? Yes. Titanium skin layers, which is only 400 of a millimeter thick, bombarded for 92 hours. Yeah. And when you want to have a pair, or buy a pair of M1, yeah, in this quality you have to pay for all these qualities.
All the attention to detail and all the quality.
Also,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we have more.
Lead on, sir.
Yeah, we have more. So, we have something most companies don't have. We have 2 freezers where we put the liquid nitrogen into, and that means that we are able to...
You have your own cryo tanks.
We do have.
Yes.
I don't know if we are waiting for some nitrogen tanks to pop up, but here you can see that's actually the crossover. In this case, is for the zero shares we have. We put them into a plastic bag, vacuum, and we freeze them down for 48 hours. When we get them up from here, we put them into that cabin next to warm them up to normal room temperature again. During this process, the crossover parts, the coils, the magnet motor systems, the cones in our drivers, there will be, during when we make the silverings from the liquid silver into it start to crystallize itself, there will be impurities there like air and other impurities. But in the crimping process, it shrinks a little bit, and that means that some of this impurity is pulled out of the product. That means, by the way, we have measured the crossover, we have around 6 to 7% less inductance. And
It's significant.
you heard the difference between a speaker where the drivers have not been treated versus a speaker where all the drivers, crossovers, and cables have been treated.
And I dare say most people would not believe the difference.
No.
But I told you yesterday, you were
Yeah.
preaching to the choir. I already knew
Yeah.
that. I mean, I really believe in what cryo treatment does.
So cryo can do a lot.
Absolutely.
Can do a lot. So this was a small, quick round trip in our company. And later on, you're going to talk to both Flemming Rasmussen and Michael Børsen. So, and then you have a chance to dig really deep into what we're doing.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Lars, thank you so much for your time, buddy. I really appreciate this.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure, buddy.
All
right. I really hope you've enjoyed this 3-part all-access glimpse into Audio Group Denmark's intriguing and remarkable facility. I simply can't thank Lars Christensen and the entire AGD team adequately for their immense generosity in hosting my visit and allowing me to share with you the remarkable story of this Danish manufacturer. It should be quite evident that they are pushing boundaries, allowing them to bring you the most rewarding, recreated music experience they know how to create. And in the next episode in this series, I'll be presenting my conversation with Michael Børsen and Flemming Rasmussen about these technologies. But now, I think a quick review of their signature design strategies is in order. First and foremost, the underlying, almost singular design goal of AGD is to eliminate inductance throughout the entire reproduction chain. Why? Well, simply put, inductance can be seen to have a direct correlation to noise, which contaminates and destroys the purity of the audio signal. One of their first solutions was to quickly come to the realization that they weren't fond of the intrinsic sound of aluminum, especially when used in such common roles as a component chassis or in any capacity anywhere near a loudspeaker. Now, while it isn't possible to eschew the use of aluminum completely, they use as little as possible and only where it will have a minimal sonic impact. In its place, they have implemented a number of other materials, including chassis built of non-metallic composites, and where metal is required, they have implemented stainless steel, copper, silver, gold, titanium, or most notably, zirconium. They next identified another vector to tackle, the common drawback suffered by typical loudspeaker motors today, one referred to as iron distortion. As virtually every loudspeaker driver manufactured today incorporates iron in its execution, to address the non-linear behavior traditional drivers experience due to the presence of iron, Michael Børsen has designed and patented the iron-free magnet motor, a motor that they say has nearly 10 times lower inductance than that of conventional drivers. Wanting to push the envelope to its limits, the Børsen engineering team discovered that replacing the copper Faraday or shorting rings used in speaker motor structures with handcrafted sterling silver versions fabricated in-house lowered inductance even further. If that weren't enough, these bespoke silver parts, along with other speaker parts like the 4/100ths of a millimeter thick titanium skin layer that goes on the M series driver's cones, are shipped off to the Danish Technological Institute in Aarhus, some 120 kilometers to the south. There, they are bombarded with titanium nitrate, tungsten, and or zirconium for up to 92 hours using a sophisticated high-energy process to modify the surface structure of the materials being treated, subsequently diffusing these other metals into the base materials. Now, the result of this additional metal deposition process is said to reduce their individual mechanical distortion properties, allowing them to achieve an unprecedented new minimum level of inductance, one that they say is about 12 times lower than the inductance level of conventional iron-based drivers. However, because of the considerable expense necessary to implement these last two enhancements, those enhancements are currently only available in the Zero series of loudspeakers. But while touching on the matter of selected application of advanced technologies, they have implemented a unique augmentation of Class A circuit topology in their flagship 880 series of integrated, mono, and stereo amplifiers. Put in very simple terms, this interpretation of Class A applies both a higher bias current and implements a more concise way of maintaining stable current flow, even during more demanding loads. Next, one of the more unique tools in their arsenal is the application of a new component, one they have both developed and fabricate in-house, something they call a Tesla coil. Now, Michael Borison is quick to point out that it is more correct to call this item an inverted Tesla coil. Essentially, they are a transformer inside another transformer, wired in opposing polarity, allowing them to cancel high-frequency noise, whether it was introduced via the mains or comes from some other residual origin like cabling. Now, in combination with the inverted Tesla coils, they have also introduced a form of analog dithering technology. Now, this dithering works by injecting a very low-level amount of random noise. Then, by modulating the noise floor, it becomes possible to uncover information that is normally concealed beneath that floor. The result is a clearer picture of the full content of the recording. Another trailblazing technology that they developed is their anti-aerial resonance coil. Now, all cables are in essence antennas. Though AGD doesn't specify exactly how they accomplish the feat, this technology is said to somehow prevent the cable from appearing to have a definitive fixed length. Now, this ambiguity diminishes the ability of the treated cable or internal wire to act as an antenna, preventing any waves, standing or otherwise, from being intercepted by the cable and bleeding into your system. The Anzu's product lineup also includes a number of other interesting devices aimed at providing even more effective audible noise reduction. The Sorts products take the idea of the shorting plug that rose to popularity in the early 1970s to an entirely new level. They are termination plugs meant to be used with any open input or output socket. By combining the advantages of the Tesla coil, the anti-aerial resonance coil, and effective grounding, when they are plugged into open jacks, they can be heard to significantly reduce otherwise unchecked background noise levels. Now, they also make a series of resonance control isolation devices that include the Darks. Designed as component footers, a single Darks footer measures 1 3/4 inches wide by just shy of an inch tall and is comprised of a layer of 3 thin flat discs, separated and isolated from the disc above or below by 3 small metal ball bearings between each layer. Moving up through the Darks lineup, you encounter more and more effective isolation materials, including titanium and zirconium. Finally, Audio Group Denmark cryogenically treats many components, from crossover parts like coils to speaker parts like baskets, magnets, rings, even some cones, to further reduce inductance. When all these components, crossovers, premium drivers, etc., undergo cryogenic treatment, inductance is reduced by an additional 6 to 8%. Now, I think that you will recognize that this is an impressive array of technologies, all aimed at the reduction of noise and related distortion-causing mechanisms. What I find truly exciting here is that most of these technologies and innovations are applied across every item in their inventory, even to their entry-level products. The combined effectiveness of all these individual elements was to be borne out over and over during my many listening sessions over the length of my visit. While I cannot speak to the individual efficacy of any single one of their methods, what I can say, without question, is that the synergy of their combined application is undeniable. Now, before I left Aalborg, we discussed my reviewing a number of these remarkable products, so watch for that here. You know, I'm reminded of a comment Polonius makes to Laertes in Act 1, Scene 3 of Shakespeare's Hamlet. If we are true to ourselves, we cannot be false to anyone. So it would appear to be with the efforts of AGD. By following their instincts, exploring and pioneering new and innovative methods of problem solving, and staying true to their goals and beliefs, they are building products that reveal music with as much truthfulness as they know how. Guys, if you have the opportunity to hear any of these products at a show, in a retail environment, or in any professional or private installation, go out of your way. Once you do, you will understand why these products are making headlines everywhere they show up. As always, thanks for taking the time to drop by. Further information on supporting the channel may be found in today's description section or at my website, theaudioanalyst.com. Please stay safe and keep the music playing. Till next time, skål.